fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm very excited for this video because I'm going to be doing a first impression on the Dominique Cosmetics Berries and Cream palette, which just looks like this. At least that's the sleeve. It's super metallic, and I waited a little bit longer to get this palette just because I wanted it to be on Sephora so I could purchase through Sephora, simply because I wanted to use Ebates and get cash back, and I also waited to have a promo code, so I got $20 off my purchase of $75, and I had some gift cards, so it all ended up working out really well for me. I only paid $6 for the entire order. I felt good about it, so I was really excited about this palette because it's the first, well actually no, it's the second Dominique Cosmetics palette that's called to me. I wanted the Lemonade palette for a long time, and I waited for it for a long time just because I saw like mixed reviews, and there was like the whole thing with the shimmers not being great, and I swatched it in store and I didn't really know how I felt about it, but I ended up purchasing it when I got this palette, and I haven't used it yet. So if you guys want to see a video on that, definitely let me know, because I have wanted that palette for a really long time, and I felt like even after months I still wanted the palette. I still really liked the color scheme. I was still inspired by it, so I thought if it's something I can think about for months and months and months, I should just go ahead and grab it, especially since I was trying to get that $20 off. Alright, so I think this retails for $44. If I'm not correct, I'll put it on screen. I could be wrong, but something around there. And it has 12 times 1.4 grams of net weight. Here is the palette. It does have a pretty big mirror, as you can see, and I just really like this color scheme. It's definitely more on the neutral side, but something about this is just like, I don't know, berries and holiday. I also was very curious to test out the formula of Dominique Cosmetics because I feel like for the majority I've heard nothing but good things. I do have to go ahead and mention that this palette stinks. Not the actual palette, but the shadows. If you smell it, oh gosh, ugh, it smells like if you've ever dissected anything. Like when I was in high school and middle school, I was in like a weird science class. I don't even know what I was doing in my life. I thought I wanted to be a doctor. But I dissected a lot of different animals, and the chemicals that they use, like the preservatives that they use when you dissect, that's what this smells like. It smells like dissecting preservatives. So, oh gosh, it smells so gross. Like, it brings me back to some gross times. Like, I one time had to dissect like a mama rat, and it smells just like that. So I really am not a fan of the smell. I think I'm gonna leave the palette out for a few days after this and just like leave it open and see if the smell will like go away. But I haven't heard anyone say anything about that, and I just had to mention it because it's definitely not pleasant. So before I put it on my face, I figured we should just go ahead and do some swatches. Alright, so the first shade in the palette is Warm Pie. Ooh. It's like kind of like a burnt red shade, and it does have shimmer through it, but it looks like a matte base. Definitely a really unique shade. Then there is Chocolate Mousse, really deep brown. Feels really good on the fingers, like it feels like a very soft formula, but there's not a bunch of kickback. And then we have Sweet Cream, which is like a really light pink shade. And then Toasted is like a taupe. Pinky swatches always swatch the worst because there's like less finger there, and it's hard to do more pressure with your pinky. I'm just gonna add a second layer just so you can see. Alright, next we have Bittersweet, which is one of the shades I'm most drawn to. Ooh, that is a really beautiful shade. Soft and Sweet. Another, like, this is basically like MAC Warm Brown. It's kind of like that like rosy, warm, really light transition shade. Honey Dipped. Okay, this is basically just a bronze. Because we really needed another bronze. We have Sugar Cookie, which looks to be like a light pink shade. I really like this being in here because this is a shade I could see myself using a lot. It has really pretty sparkle to it. And then Cranberry, another one of my favorite shades from just looking at the palette. It's just a really beautiful cranberry shade. I especially like this because I wanted to pick up the Natasha Nona Cranberry palette, and the quality didn't feel great on the matte, so I skipped that. So I thought this looks really beautiful. And then we've got Oh dang, that's pigmented. This is Blueberry Muffin. Fun fact about me, I hate blueberries alone, but I live for a good blueberry muffin, especially when it has like that like kind of like crispy topping. Oh my gosh, I love blueberry muffins. Wish I had one right now, but that is stunning. I definitely want to use that shade today. I don't know why I swatched one shade on my pinky finger because I never do that. But there's those shades. The next shade is Cherry Juice, and I'm really drawn to this shade because it's like a really deep purpley red tone, and I've been searching for the perfect one like this. I don't know if this has the vibrancy that I want, but it looks very similar, so I'm really curious to see this on the eyes and see if I love it. And then last but not least is Blackberry, which is just a black. So I don't know if you can tell from my descriptions of the shades, but I'm not in love with every single shade in this palette. Like the bronze shade I could do without. I like having a deep brown more than a deep black, but overall I really like the color scheme, and even the shades that I'm not like, oh my gosh, like the bronze, I don't need another bronze, but I can see how it would work for this palette. So I would say I like 90% of the shades. Actually, really quickly, just because I was curious about this, just gonna do a quick little comparison. I have the Snow Angels palette from Dose of Colors, which looks, it almost kind of looks like a miniature version of this one. Just wanted to show you. So there's definitely some similar tones in here, but I think this is a little bit brighter. Like the blues in here are a little bit brighter. The blues are not the same shade. It's kind of like if you took the two blues in here and mixed them together, you'd get that blue. This looks overall deeper, more of like a smoky kind of thing going on, and this one is brighter. So I honestly thought like this, I was trying to talk myself out of the Berries and Cream palette because I have this one, but looking at them together, I think there's definitely all different shades, except for like the only really repeat shade I would see is this like taupey transition shade is similar. So I'm going to start off with Sweet Cream right here. I'm just going to use a touch of this on my brow bone. It does have like a pinky hue to it, but I think it'll be like a nice lightning highlighting type shade. I'm just throw a little on the inner corner for now. Now I'm going to take the shade Soft and Sweet. Just going to throw that in my crease. And just kind of blend upwards. This is just going to be a transition shade today. I'm not going to build it up too much. This would definitely be a transition for like anyone with a like fair to light skin tone, and I think beyond that it might be like an all over setting shade for anyone who has a deeper skin tone, and then if you have medium, this probably won't show up all that much. Now I'm going to take Bittersweet, and I'm just going to put that in my crease. Oops, just gonna try and be a little bit lower down. Okay, so I'm kind of sitting here adding, building, and then blending, and I think the best way to work with this color in particular is to add it down and then blend, and you have to add it into each part that you want because it's not blending seamlessly, just like going from one pass, if that makes sense. Like you need more product or else it looks a little bit patchy. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take Cherry Juice. I'm gonna put that in my outer V. Wow, I love that color. I was kind of like holding my breath, like, is it gonna stick to my outer V? Because I have that problem so much lately, but that is beautiful. I'm just going with the previous brush and just blending. Okay, so I'm looking at my eyeshadow and I think it looks fine. Like I could leave the house like this, but I don't think it looks extremely blended right here for how much I've blended. Like I feel like it does look a little patchy in certain areas. So I'm kind of confused because I feel like I've heard so many people say that these are the easiest shadows to blend. I'm gonna go ahead and take a touch more of Bittersweet, that like really beautiful light purple shade, and just gonna throw that on over top now and see if that helps. Actually, you know what? Already it looks 1,000 times better. like sticking better now. It's not like getting as patchy with that second layer there. I'm gonna go ahead and take some of Cranberry, and I'm gonna put that on like this part. Ooh, okay, that's pretty. Just gonna put that on like the outer half of my lid, and then kind of tap it over. This is a really pretty shade, and I definitely want to do some type of look where I put this all over my lid and do something really, really smoky and cranberry-esque. Now I'm going to take Sugar Cookie, and I'm going to put that on the inner part of the lid, and then tap it into Cranberry. I do think this shimmer formula feels a little bit more powdery, and it would probably really benefit from being sprayed. Alright, so that's basically like 2 layers of Sugar Cookie, and that's how it looks. I mean, it looks pretty, but I'm gonna go ahead and just blend the edges real quick because I don't want it to be super precise. I want it to be more diffused. Alright, and now I'm gonna take some more Sugar Cookie, and I'm gonna wet my brush with my almost done setting spray. Oh yeah, definitely better. Alright, so I'm just got that tapped in, and I'm gonna go ahead and take just a touch of Cranberry on that same brush. I'm not gonna wet it anymore, and I'm just gonna kind of tap that into Sugar Cookie because I just want them to blend really well. I'm gonna take a deep blue eyeliner. This is dark blue from Ardency Inn. Just gonna put that in my waterline. Now I'm taking Blueberry Muffin, just a tiny, tiny little amount at the very tip of the pencil brush, and I'm going to put that as close to my lash line as possible and just kind of smudge this out. Last but not least, for the eyes, I'm going to take a touch more of Sugar Cookie, and I'm just going to put that on my inner corner to brighten it up a little bit. Not going to go in with a ton, not going to do a super blown out inner corner like I normally do, just keeping it pretty precise. I think I'm going to take just a little tiny touch on the tip of my brow bone as well. The tip of my brow bone, I mean underneath like the arch of my brow. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I figured I'd finish up the rest of my face real quick with y'all, so I'm going to go in with the Kevyn Aucoin Neo Highlighter in the shade Sahara, and it just looks like this. I was sent this through Octoly, and I mentioned it in a haul, and I said that I thought it would be really nice for a bronzer. Actually, after I swatched it, I didn't think I could use it as a highlighter, and I'm just here to update you guys. I'm using a random bronzer brush. I never use this one, but anyways, I am here to update you guys that I have fallen in love with this bronzer highlighter that I use for bronzer. I just feel like it's the perfect shade if you have super fair skin and you like a satiny bronzer, because I really do. I think it just looks really beautiful and natural on the skin. So I'm just kind of fluffing that all over my cheekbones. I kind of blend it forwards because I normally blend my blush into the bronzer and whatnot. Throwing some here even though my bangs cover it. It's a habit. There is what it looks like, and like I said, I think it looks really, really beautiful. I found myself using this a lot recently. I kind of go back and forth because like my Sandbar bronzer from Divina I like for like more of a structured bronzer look, but this is just like my go-to for like a really just seamless, soft kind of thing. So really, really liking that. I have the Morphe 8C Cool Blush Palette, which I was sent through Octoly. I haven't used this one. Oh, geez. I haven't used this one yet. I used the warm one 3 times now, and I'm really liking it. I was very, very curious to see these. Like, as soon as they popped up on Octoly, I applied for them because I always see everyone rave about these blush palettes. I have a blush trio from Morphe that I really, really like, so I just wanted to see the hype. So I figured a cool tone blush would go really pretty with this eye look, so I think I'm going to go ahead and take this one right here, which is called It Girl. I feel like you can't see it on the camera, but in person it looks really pretty. It's just a very, very soft pink. Alright, and then for highlighter today, I figured I would show you guys this because I haven't used it on my channel yet. This is the Elsie Skin Reflector Highlighter in the shade Pearly Glaze. Just looks like this, and I had to get this because April from What a Makeup, I'll leave her channel down below. Where's my highlighter brush? Anyways, April has been raving about this highlighter for a hot minute and making it sound like the best highlighter ever, basically, and every time she's wearing it, I'm like, girl, what highlighter are you wearing it? Or I think that to myself even if I don't ask it. And then she mentioned in the video that she was wearing this one and she was topping other highlighters with this one, and I was just like, I need to try this magical highlighter. So it's really pretty. You can see it there. It's definitely more of a softer, like more natural type of glow. This brush is a little bit dirty, so it might be adding some other highlighter on top or into this one, but I think this is really nice if you have texture. It does definitely give that kind of like wet look, so I have found myself liking it. I don't want to stick to the light section because I want to be able to use this entire highlighter, so I'm like forcing myself to like tap all the way through. I'm just going to go ahead and set my face with the Catrice Illuminating Prime and Fine Spray. Which I have really been enjoying this spray. I understand the hype. I think it's really, really nice. I think I should definitely force myself to use some of my older ones before I use this one, but it was in front of me, so I couldn't help myself. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw on some mascara. This is just the Kevyn Aucoin Expert Mascara that I got from Octoly. I've used this several times without mentioning anything like the name or anything because I just feel like mascara is mascara, and I was very excited to try this mascara because I was like, it's a $30 mascara. Like, that's something I would never buy like on my own accord. Like, there's not room in my budget for a $30 mascara, but I was very excited to test it out, and I still kind of feel the exact same way. Like, mascara is mascara. It does its job. I feel like it kind of sticks to the lashes. It's a little bit harder to take off. I like it, but not like $30. Like, you can add whatever mascara your heart desires if you are following this. For lips today, I'm going to go ahead and use the NYX lip liner in the shade Mauve, and then the Morphe lip gloss in the shade Flower Crown. Alright, so this is the finished look using the Dominique Cosmetics Berries and Cream palette, and I think it is really, really pretty. I love how it turned out, actually. I think the color scheme of this palette is really beautiful. I just love this combination of colors. I think there's definitely some neutrals here, but something about this just speaks to me so much. I don't think I've seen as many people talk about this, and I think maybe it's because the background is taking away from the colors. Like, the colors don't look as vibrant put up against this like maroon color. Maybe that's it, I don't know, but I really like the color scheme of this, and I'm pretty sure when I go traveling for like Christmas and stuff, this Friday actually, I really need to go ahead and pack my travel makeup bag, but I think I'm going to be bringing this along because I feel like there's so much you could do with this, and like I said, I feel like it's just the perfect holiday palette. As far as the formula goes, I think, like I said, the shimmers felt like they were just a little bit powdery, but whenever I sprayed my brush, I think that made a world of difference, and I'm excited to keep playing with those. The matte shades, I think, took me a little bit longer to blend, and I did get a little bit of like patchiness in the crease, which I was not expecting because like this is supposed to be like the most amazing matte formula from what I've heard from everyone. But sometimes formulas work a lot better if you do set your lid, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they work better if you don't set your lid. So next time I use this, I'm going to set my entire lid with a shade that's close to my skin tone and see if that makes a difference with the blending. Although I was able to get it to work, and I think it looks fine. Like, it looks good, but it's not like, I don't know if I'd want to take a close-up of this particular eye look for Instagram type of good. I do really, really love this shade Cherry Juice. This one, I'm so glad it's in here. I think this is a brilliant color scheme. Does anyone know if this is a limited edition? I really hope it's not. I think it's kind of cool that Kristen Dominique, if you watch her YouTube channel, it does feel like she's a very neutral gal, but she keeps coming out with palettes that, even though they are neutral, I feel like This is like neutral with some color that doesn't intimidate, in my opinion. So I think that, I don't know, I just really like the color scheme. That's what I'm trying to say over and over and over and over again. So I would love to know if you guys picked up the Berries and Cream palette, and if you did, what you're thinking of it, if you're liking it, how it compares to the other palettes, because like I said, I did not try the original Latte palette. It wasn't really my color scheme, and the Lemonade palette is sitting on the floor across from me, looking beautiful in my Sephora box, and I'm sure I will play with it soon. So I think that's everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.